did it. You searched your market area and found an amazing property. It met all your interior and exterior criteria. It checks all the boxes. But this is an investment property, not a place you'll live. So you're faced with a big question. How much money can this property make you? And how much is it going to cost you? In this video, I will show an example of how to calculate the cash flow that will be generated from your investment property. I'm Lexi Esparza, the realtor that educates. I'm an investor-friendly agent from South Texas, and I'm here to help you become financially wealthy. Before we dive into how exactly to calculate these numbers, I want to express how extremely important this process is. This is not your home. This is an investment. You are spending money to make money. So you need to crunch the numbers and make sure this property can actually do that for you. A true, successful investment doesn't leave much room for emotions. To calculate your cash flow, it's first important to know and be familiar with the average rent properties are going for in your area. These can't be just any properties. They need to match your criteria of properties you will be analyzing and potentially buying. The type of property, location, number of bedrooms and bathrooms, square footage, and any amenities that the property includes all affect the rent. These similar properties are known as comps. Stay current with the market and analyze comps by visiting your favorite realtor's MLS often, where all listings will appear. You can also use websites such as Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, and Realtor.com, but do keep in mind that these sites do not always have all active listings. Additionally, LoopNet can be used for commercial properties, if that is your interest. Another thing you could do is call the numbers on any for rent signs you see in your area and ask how much they are asking for in rent. Networking with other landlords can also help you, and not only in calculating the fair market rent, but through this entire process. The next thing to take into account are your expenses. As a real estate investor, you will be faced with taxes, insurance, periods of vacancy, repairs, capital expenditures, water, sewer, garbage, gas if applicable, electricity, HOA if the property requires it, and property management if you choose to use one. For most of these, you can call your local providers to get pricing. However, determining the repair cost, vacancy rates, and cost of capital expenditures will take a little more research. Connect with local property management companies to see what their vacancy rates are. You can also talk to a real estate agent to see what the average days on market rental properties are experiencing. Let me provide an example. If you are renting your property for $1,500 and you are expecting a 5% vacancy rate, you would multiply the $1,500 by 0.05 to get the amount of $75 you should allocate each month to cover vacancies. Although repairs aren't too easy to estimate, being that there are many external factors, it's always beneficial to connect with local contractors to see what the average cost of repairs and capital expenditures, CapEx, are. It's not every day you will have to make repairs and deal with CapEx, which are those expensive items such as roof, foundation, plumbing, appliances, etc. However, you want to ensure that you are prepared with reserves when the day comes. Calculating this into your monthly expenses will help with this. When investing in real estate, it is common that investors are most concerned with cash flow and appreciation. Cash flow is defined as the money that is left over after all your bills and expenses have been paid for the month. Appreciation comes in two forms, natural and forced. Natural appreciation happens through natural forces that cause prices to rise over time, including inflation. Forced appreciation is in the owner's control. When you add a bedroom, bathroom, and/or remodel, you can make your property more valuable. To determine your cash flow, you need to add up all your expenses as we discussed earlier and subtract that from the total income you are receiving from rents. The difference is your cash flow, and this is pure profit you get to keep each month. There are a number of ways to do this. BiggerPockets has an online rental calculator that you could use. There's Excel templates online, apps you can download, and more. It's really up to you as to what works best for you. At the end of the day, you are still the brains behind the calculator. You still need to know the estimated rents, taxes, expenses, etc. Personally, I use an Excel sheet with integrated formulas. I will go through an example of an actual duplex for sale in San Antonio to show how it works. What you see here is called a pro forma. This is a tool you can use to calculate your cash flow, cap rate, and more. In this example, I am going to use a conventional loan with 25% down. And I am fully aware that that is a large amount of money to put down, but remember that there are ways to get a down payment lower or put this much down with little or no money of your own to begin with. Check out my previous video if you missed that one for more info on that. So, to use this Excel sheet, you must plug in the numbers here under variables first. Then, because of the pre-done formulas, everything will auto-populate. First, under variables, you can see I have typed the $500,000 as the purchase cost. I have 25% for the down payment and an interest rate of 6% because that is where interest rates are at the time of this recording. Remember that interest rates fluctuate. You must speak with a mortgage lender or organization for an up-to-date rate. I am not a mortgage lender. Next, you will see that I have an estimated rent of $1,750 per unit because I have run a market analysis to determine that that would be a fair market rent. You can do this yourself, or I can always help you with this part. Then you will see that I plugged in the 1.93% tax rate that I got directly from the Bexar County Appraisal District at the time of this recording. Then I have a 0.2% cost for annual insurance based on the quote from my local provider and an 8% management fee from a property management company I work with in San Antonio. This property does not have an HOA, so I will plug in 0 under this cost. If you look over at the property assumptions, you can see all the information regarding the duplex. These numbers have auto-populated because of what I plugged in on the variables. Over to the right is your cash-on-cash return. This is the money you are making based on the investment you made. Lastly, at the bottom right, you will see your estimated monthly cash flow. And this is what you take home at the end of the month. I do want to give a quick disclaimer that this is an example. Your cash flow and all other numbers depend on your financing, interest rates, down payment, and more. This will be different for everyone depending on your situation. Now, you may be thinking, $245 for cash flow? What is that going to do for me? Well, you must remember that this is passive income. You are not going to an office or a job site every day and having to work 40 hours a week for this. This is only one investment property as well. Whether you choose to only invest in one property or multiple, cash flow is extra money that you didn't initially have. Remember, there are many different types of rental properties as well. This is just an example. Calculating cash flow and analyzing deals may seem like the hardest part of this process, but like anything else, it gets easier with practice. If you want more resources to learn from, click the link below to download my free guide that details my favorite books, podcasts, and more. These will surely get you excited about your journey to wealth, and if you haven't checked out my other videos on investing, be sure to watch those as well. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.